I have partnered up with Brother Crafts to show you why I'm adding their scan and cut to my DIY tool belt to add some extra detail throughout the next couple months to some specific room makeovers. And today we're going to tackle this office that I actually DIY'd for Paul a while ago, and it's definitely lacking luster, and I did not do him justice with this space. This was a fairly simple makeover. There wasn't like a lot I needed to purchase or buy because I'm going to be using a lot of what he currently has, and I'm moving in, well, I was trying to move a couch in from my office since I will be getting new furniture for that since I am making that over later this month. A lot of makeovers this year, people. The reason I wanted to bring this couch in is Paul is all about meditation, visualization, anything that has to do with obtaining his goals. So for this wall, I'm going to be creating like his ultimate Pinterest vision board, if you will. I patched all the holes that were currently on the wall from my previous makeover, which was about 5 billion. I don't know why I couldn't hang a photo, but then I chose this color by Bear. It's called Starry Night, and my inspiration was coming from the blue that was in this Jay-Z painting Paul got me when he told me he loved me, but he really bought it so he could eventually have it in his house. My lovely subscribers that told me I used too much plastic, well, your girl, she went out and bought a bunch of drop cloths. I'm using old sheets, so I do have to say thank you for that because there are definitely other ways to avoid plastic. As I see plastic in the corner, I lied. I have a full in-depth step-by-step tutorial on these pipe and flange shelves. I will link that for you. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm just moving them over and cutting the shelves down to size. What I will go into detail on is this pin board that I'm going to be creating, this ginormous one, by stapling rolls of pin sheet, is that the right corkboard, Rachel Metz, holy moly, corkboard directly to the wall to fill up this huge blank space, and then I will be framing it out. Before I framed it out, I did a couple other things because I wasn't sure what kind of wood or framing I would like. So I hung up this mirror, which I got from my own office. I'm not purchasing a new one, but I did link it down below for you since I know a lot of you love it. Because I didn't know what trim I wanted to use, I moved forward with what I could in this space. I started to hang up boards and guitars. If you guys do not know, my boyfriend is a professional skateboarder, and these are boards that are nearest and dearest to his heart. The guitars as well. He just got finished rapping being the guitarist on the Selena Netflix series that's going to come out, so I thought that was extra special. The main thing I wanted to make a moment for is Mamba. That is one of Paul's biggest heroes. Wow, holy crying. Paul had the opportunity to work with Kobe pretty closely, and he was one of his biggest heroes. So for Paul's 10th Nike shoe, Mamba wrote him a letter with this special display box, and I had to, just make it a moment for him. Whoa, sorry guys. Wow, what was I saying? Okay, so now I'm moving on because I'm going to be adding the accents to the mellow accent wall, and I'm going to be just cutting down 1x2s to create a geometric pattern. It's going to be very simple. I'm cutting everything by a 45-degree angle on my miter saw and kind of just installing it by eye. I didn't add too many pieces because I didn't want to overwhelm the space that already has a lot going on. I patched and painted it the same exact color as the wall to add some depth and texture, not to make it look super crazy. I hung back up the boards and back up the guitars. The reason I hung them first is so I kind of could design around it without having to do too many cuts. As I let that dry, I started to mess around with the Brother scan and cut, and I need to be honest with you guys, these cutting machines used to really intimidate me, but this one is so user-friendly that I am way more excited to put to rest my calligraphy or lack thereof skills and start to implement this into my life. Brother Crafts and I are working together until April, so I'm excited to dabble in more and more little by little to see what this thing is capable of. This is actually the SDX125E, if you're curious about the model number, and yes, this is literally me on camera first time using it. That's how simple it is. The SDX125E is standalone, has on-screen editing and fully detailed designs. It's also wireless network ready, but I just opened it on up, turned it on, and wanted to just create 24 to add to Kobe's corner. What I typically would do is print out the number 24 and cut it, or I would design it into the font that I want, cut it out, trace it, put it onto the paper that I want. I'm totally old school. This blew my mind that it cut it perfectly in less than a minute. This 24 ended up being too large, and I didn't like the colorway in this corner, so I switched it to a black and a smaller size, but I can keep the 24 because they also provided me this travel case, which will come in handy when I do the other two room makeovers with Brother, because I'll be moving and grooving with them. So it'll be nice to have everything in one place and not lose my brain. I used my laser level to create a straight edge where I wanted to take my X-Acto knife and cut that corkboard nice and clean. I went back over with a small piece of trim that I cut down to size. Mine is 84 by 47 3/4, I believe. I got the thinnest trim at Home Depot available in a natural wood and just pinned that right on with my nail gun. Now it's just time for final details. For the Kobe's corner that I'm creating for Paul, I just put a pop of color chair and a nightstand that had a storage option, as well with a pop of color of the base and a plant. And then this pillow is actually from his daughter's room, so I thought that was fitting too, to be in this corner. Even though this video is on the shorter side of things, this realistically took me a day to complete. So it might seem aggressive from the before and after, but it is really just hanging things up onto the wall, making sure that you're styling the best that you can. But did you see my before when I thought I was handling my situation properly interior design wise? You live, you learn, you grow. And that's exactly what this room reflects to me with my relationship with Paul and where he's at as a businessman. Thank you so much to Brother Crafts for partnering up with me for the next couple of months. I really can't wait to dabble in more and show you guys what scan and cut is truly capable of, because you know I'm going to push it to the limit. Something I thought that would be repetitive in all my tutorials lately is telling you that I did change the drapes from the blinds to drapes, raised them up, added some texture and some color. I also switched out the light fixture, but I feel like I do need to say this if somebody is new. But those are my first two things besides paint that I do when I enter a space. Okay, now that that's out of the way. I truly do believe in people keeping in mind that if they are decorating for them or they are decorating for their loved ones or whoever it is, that you add those personal touches throughout the entire space to make that feel like home to the person you are doing it for. And when Paul walked in, I didn't want to show his reaction because it's been a little bit of a somber time over here, but to say he gave me a hug and teared up is to say the least. So I'm glad that he is enjoying his new office. I can't wait to show you more room makeovers coming your way, and I will see you soon for another DIY, guys.